Hey, what's up you guys? I'm back with another video. So much for that weekly schedule, am I right? Yeah. Sorry I'm a few days late on this, but anyway, I got a bunch of Raytheon Waffle Darts in the mail to test out, and here are my tests. So the setup I used is the normal strife I have with an Artifact red cage, Artifact metal diagonal grooved wheels, and Hellcats. Basically any parts I test in the future, I'll just be replacing that part on this setup, mostly because the Artifact red cages are some of the most popular cages and were for the most part easily available, and I think they still are. Hellcats are some of the best motors you can get right now, though I will be doing a complete test on all the different motors available within a couple of weeks after End War. I'll be getting the Fang motors there to test there. And these wheels, while are not the best wheels, and some might argue not the most consistent, are the easiest to take on and off of motor shafts, so that saves me time to test more different motors, cages, whatever. That means they'll also have the least amount of effect on the motor shafts and also the actual mounting holes on the flywheels, because eventually, if I were to test all the different motors that I have with plastic flywheels, I would end up completely boring out the shafts from taking them on and off that many times, and I don't want to do that. So these are the wheels I'm going to be using for stuff like that. Anyway, on to the testing. I reused footage and test results from the last two wheels testing videos I had for Elite Darts and Waffle Darts. So for Elite Darts and off-brand China Waffle Darts that I got on AliExpress for stupidly cheap. Those two will be the footage of those two will be reused from past tests because it saved me a little bit of time, and those are perfectly valid test results with the same exact setup and same exact voltage and everything. And then I tested, in addition to the Raytheons, I also tested some Koosh darts that I had lying around, and these black accurate AC darts. They've been called a couple different things. I've mostly seen these used to be cut down to use as Steffens, but I had a couple on hand, figured I would test those too. So here's the test footage. So between the different kinds of darts, the highest high was by Koosh darts at 136, and the lowest low was by these AC darts, and these are just bad in general, at least for flywheels. I haven't done a whole lot of testing with these as Steffens or in Springers, but I don't like these for flywheels at all. Out of all the different kinds of darts I've had, these somehow are the most susceptible to getting burned by flywheels and ending up with those like ridges. I've managed to do that to more of these darts than any others. Not exactly sure why, but the foam is also very susceptible to that. It's like thicker, but it's lower quality foam, I guess. Not sure. But anyway, don't use these in flywheels. I'm gonna get rid of that right away. Unfortunately, my testing for Koosh darts was not super consistent because I haven't bought Koosh darts in like a year now, something like that, because of the Waffle Darts. So I don't have a whole lot of brand new quality Koosh darts, but the ones that flew the best were pretty consistently around 130 FPS, though the average over all the good ones and bad ones was 113 FPS, which came in at lower than the Waffle Darts. But if you look at other people's test results, Koosh darts are consistently higher FPS than Waffle Darts. So that's kind of a well-known fact already. So, yeah. The most important test, really, is Raytheon Waffles versus other brand waffles. So, there's only 2 other well-known name brand waffles out right now as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but those are E-Kind and Little Valentine. But both those are more expensive, so Raytheon already wins there. The only cheaper option I've ever found was these off-brand waffle darts that were found on AliExpress by Random Shadow 09, and they're pretty decent quality. I've managed to rip off a couple heads by accident just from using them, but nothing major. They were so cheap, it was like $3.50 for 100. So when I bought them, I bought 1,000 at like $35. Since then, the price has gone up. So Raytheons are right around the same price point, and they've got Amazon Prime. The AliExpress ones are also free shipping, but it took like a month and a half to get to me, whereas the Amazon Prime will obviously get there in 2 days. So, pros and cons of these. For one thing, the heads have a much smaller shaft going into the dart, which makes them a little bit lighter, and by slightly higher, I mean almost no noticeable difference. The average FPS between the Raytheon waffles and the standard waffles was basically nothing, 0.1 FPS. That being said, Raytheon waffles got a lower standard deviation, a higher high, and a higher low than the off-brand AliExpress waffle darts. So overall, these are definitely higher quality, better FPS, better deviation. Unless someone comes out with something better, I'm probably going to be sticking with Raytheon waffles for most of my future dart purchasing, at least for flywheels. Obviously, other different kinds of darts might work better in other types of blasters. I know these are not a huge fan of brass because the head is so wide. These have consistently, waffle darts have pretty consistently given me weird jams in a stock Alpha Trooper, so not a huge fan of them for that. But for flywheels, I'm definitely going to be sticking with Raytheons for the foreseeable future. Raytheon dart heads are a little bit stiffer and less easy to squish than the off-brand competitors, as you can see how easy that is as opposed to that. You don't notice the difference when you're hit by them, and you don't notice the difference when you're hit by them, and if anything, this seems to have a positive effect on the FPS, considering that they do get higher FPS than these. But yeah, unless these become significantly cheaper than Raytheon waffles, Raytheons are my new go-to flywheel darts. Yeah, that about covers all my data. Thank you for watching. Probably not a video next week / later this week because End War. I'll probably post something or other, and then when I get back from End War, I'll be reviewing lots and lots of goodies that I'll be picking up there. So stay tuned for that. See you next time.